Welcome to my next video. In this video, we will be talking about how to make a will. A will is a legal document that decides who gets your property when you're gone. If you decide all of your children, they're ungrateful, you don't want to leave them any property, you want to leave all your property to benefit Mr. Kibbles, your pet, you can do that. You can do that in 49 of the 50 states. You may have to jump through some extra legal hoops. Your children may contest the will. There's some logistical problems with Mr. Kibbles. It's very hard for Mr. Kibbles to endorse checks or walk into a bank and deposit checks. But there are ways to set up your will so that Mr. Kibbles will benefit from the majority of your property. That's 49 of the 50 states. The 50th state is Louisiana. So in Louisiana, Mr. Kibbles may be out of luck. Now that you know that you can leave your property to pretty much anybody, who do you want to leave your property to? Always think backups when you're writing a will. If you want to leave all of your property to one person, that's great. What if they die before you? Who do you want your property to go to then? If you decide you would like a trusted friend to be your personal representative or executor, that's great. What if when the time comes they're unable or unwilling to do so? Who would you like to be the backup personal representative or executor? So when you're deciding how to write your will, always consider backups. One important goal in making a will that gets overlooked, in my opinion, is that after you're gone, you would like your loved ones to have as much harmony amongst themselves as they can, given what else you're trying to do with your will. So please don't overlook that as a goal. How do you choose how to write your will? Well, there's a range of ways you can do it. On one end of the range, you could spend less than $100 for software and write your will that way. On the other end of the range, you could spend thousands and thousands of dollars and get a highly competent estate attorney to write your will. So where in the range should you be? Well, to my way of thinking, there are three factors to consider. First, how much wealth do you have? How much property is your will going to distribute? Little bit of property, you tend to be at this end. Millions of dollars of property, this end. Second factor, what's the likelihood there are going to be problems when people see what you've done with your will? No problems, everybody gets along. If there are any problems, everybody can work together to solve them. Cheaper end of the spectrum. Problems are definitely coming. You just know it absolutely. This end of the spectrum. Third factor. How much money do you want to spend? As I said, you can probably get software for less than $100 and write a will. The most prevalent software these days is probably Quicken Willmaker and Trust. I have no connection with that company. If price isn't a concern, you can spend thousands and thousands of dollars getting a highly competent estate attorney to write you the perfect will. Now, if you do choose to use an attorney when you write your will, hopefully you've chosen an attorney who's an expert in writing wills. Now, assuming that you've chosen an attorney who is an expert in writing wills, they know everything there is to know about writing a will. They know nothing about who you are, what your values are, what you're trying to accomplish, and your view of everybody in your world. The people who are getting property under your will and the people who are not getting property under your will. So that's something that you need to tell the expert, tell the estate attorney if you're using an attorney, and make sure that he or she really understands what it is you're trying to accomplish and how you view everybody in your world. Now, once you've made a will, it's a good idea to periodically look at the will. Drag it out every couple of years and say, okay, based upon my situation now, what would happen with this will? And is that really what I want to have happen? If the answer is no, then it would be a really good idea to update your will. As your circumstances change, as your view of what you would like to have happen changes, it's a great idea to update your will. Another good idea is that once you write a will, you tell people in your world what you've done and, more importantly, why. When somebody dies, it's a very emotional time for people. People can get all wound up about stuff they don't need to get all wound up about when they see what you've written in your will. If one of your goals is to try to maintain the harmony of your loved ones after you're gone, it would be a really great idea to try to explain to them what you've done and why. If you got something from this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to check out my other videos and playlists. What I said in this video is my opinion based upon my education, my life experiences, and my set of values, and is for typical people in typical situations. It is not for all people in all situations. Until the next video, always remember that you are the best person in the world to decide how to live your life.